Welcome to In Her Voice, a podcast created for women who listen to and live by their deepest wisdom, their inner voice. This was made for you, the woman who feels pulled to more, to lead, to create, to dream, and to be a world changer. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am an inner voice coach. Join me here each week as we explore what it means to reach for your inspired potential, all while honoring your worthiness each and every day. Hi there, this is Kelly, and you are listening to In Her Voice. I'm coming at you early on a Monday morning, and I want to talk today about alignment. This has really been coming up for me a lot in my own talks with myself, in the work that I'm doing with my clients these days, and I'm seeing it a lot on social media, not directly talking about alignment, but I see and hear people talking a lot about how they're feeling lazy and how they're feeling like they're not getting anything done and how they just feel blah and unmotivated. And I think that this has really hit me. And I'm seeing a lot of people shame themselves for not getting stuff done and for, not taking care of their bodies or not eating the way that they would like to be eating. And I shared about this a little bit in an email that I sent out to all of you a couple of weeks ago, where, someone at my gym posted, what was a funny meme, but really was shaming. And it really struck me. It really triggered me. Like, why must we shame ourselves to get ourselves to do the things that we say are important to us? And as I was writing that email, one of the sentences I wrote, and it's really stuck with me, is shame does not bring us into alignment. And I think that this is a really, really important distinction, because yes, that feeling that you're feeling, that feeling of like, oh, what am I doing? That feeling of why can't I get it together? Like, I call that the friction of not being aligned. So when we are making choices that are aligned with what we want, what we truly want for ourselves, with what our beliefs are, we will feel good. Regardless of our circumstances, we're going to feel like, yeah, I'm getting it. I'm nailing it today. This week was a good week. And that comes from the satisfaction and fulfillment of making choices that are aligned with our purpose, with what our inner voice is asking, and with what we desire for our lives. And when we begin to make choices that are not aligned, we start to feel the friction of being out of alignment. And I want to remind you that perfection is not possible or required here. You're never going to be in alignment 100% of the time. I don't really even think that that's the goal. I think the goal is to always be aware of where you want to be and how you want to feel, and to be mindful that you're making choices to the best of your ability that bring you to that place. That is what true alignment is. True alignment doesn't look like being at your perfect weight. True alignment doesn't look like being whatever successful means to you, whatever marker that success looks like, right? That alignment is not that. What alignment is alignment is the feeling that we have when our choices reflect our values and our desires. I'm going to say that again. Alignment is the feeling we have when our choices, when our decisions, day after day after day, reflect our values, what's important to us, and our desires, what we most want. And so if you're feeling that friction, and I think you know what I mean, it's that feeling of like, oh, come on, Kelly, get it together, and I think that sometimes we feel like shaming ourselves can be the motivator to get us back to making the choices that will bring us into alignment. And here's the truth. It does sometimes work. It does sometimes work. And it always feels shitty. It will always feel bad. Shame will always feel bad. Okay? So we get to choose how we want to bring ourselves into alignment. And that is first being very clear on what our values are, being very clear on what our desires are. And so spending some time understanding what it is you really want. And then really making it a point to remind yourself of those things daily. And then always be mindful that every single choice we make is a choice either for or against the things that we say we want. That's powerful, right? We have so many opportunities every single day to choose for what we want and what we desire and what we say our values are, or to choose against that. And each and every time we choose against that, we feel it. We feel the friction. Now, the beautiful thing is that friction, let the friction be enough to bring you back. Don't shame yourself for the choices. Let the friction be enough to bring you back. And it can be as simple as this. Each day, ask yourself, how can I bring myself into alignment today? What does alignment look like for me today? What do I want my choices to reflect today? And as you build these choices time and time again, and you feel aligned and you feel good, then it's going to be easier and easier to do that. And then something will happen and you will fall out again. And that is another opportunity to practice making the choices that bring you into alignment, to practice being aware of what you need to give yourself to feel good. Does this make sense, you guys? I'm finding it so valuable for myself right now while we're all at home during this pandemic. And, my emotions are fluctuating. And it's interesting because I think that as my anxiety increases, oftentimes my decision making is not as good, because instead of making decisions that will help me feel aligned and making decisions that are in line with what I say that I want, I make decisions that help me numb out my anxiety. And that's going to happen, right? We're going to have days like that. And so it's not about judging that. It's about acknowledging, oh, here it is again. I'm feeling the rub again. I'm feeling the friction again. What can I do to get myself back to alignment, to bring myself back into integrity with myself, so I can feel good, so I can feel whole? And the interesting thing about this is when we're out of alignment, I feel like the choices to stay out of alignment feel like the easy ones. And then it can be like a backslide, if you will. It can be like this tumble down the mountain, and it gets faster and faster. And all of a sudden we find ourselves in this slump. And so it just takes one choice to change the direction of that, to change the trajectory, to change the feeling. All it takes is one choice. And I will say too that when you're feeling like you're in a slump, if you can be aware of the choices, even if you don't always choose what's going to pull you back into alignment, having the awareness that what you're choosing in that moment is not bringing you into alignment, I think can also be really helpful. Again, doing that without shame. We're talking about awareness. Shame is so interesting because shame is the thing that we want to hide from. We want to keep it in the shadows. We want to keep it covered up. We don't want anyone to know about it, okay? But when we can shine light on that and make those choices in full broad daylight and take responsibility for those choices, then that empowers us to make different choices. So if you've been feeling the rub of not being aligned in all of your choices, I want to encourage you today to ask yourself this question. Write it down in your journal, write it down in your planner, write it down on a scrap sheet of paper. What do I need to do today to be in alignment? And then listen. Your inner voice will tell you what you need. Maybe what you need is to go for a walk. Maybe what you need is to have a green smoothie. Maybe what you need is to sit and breathe for 5 minutes. Maybe what you need is to take a nap. Listen, and you will find the answer to what will bring you into alignment. And then as you go through your day, refer back to that question and refer back to the answers. Be open for a new answer, but always be honest with yourself about what feels in alignment and what doesn't. And I think that can be a really great starting point to release shame and just take responsibility. Say, yep, that was not the best choice for me today, and I'm going to make a new choice right now. And maybe that new choice is starting with forgiveness of yourself. So as you move through the day, I encourage you to revisit this question. Ask yourself every morning, what will bring me into alignment? And then make aware choices of that. Be aware. Every choice that you have during the day, am I going to choose this or this? What feels aligned? And you will be amazed at how good you start to feel. And what's really interesting about alignment, and I think I'm going to talk more about this next week on the podcast, is that results do not coincide with alignment. So if you're shooting for something, if you desire something, if you have a goal for something, alignment comes first and results follow. And in that time between when we are aligned and when we see results, we have to remember that the aligned feeling is really what we want. That's what makes us feel good. The results are just a bonus. The results that come later are fun and exciting, but how we feel day in and day out right now, that's what really matters. So I share all this with you because I want you to know that you have the power within you to live a life that feels good, regardless of your circumstances, every single day. That doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard, but it means that you can choose things that make you feel supported within yourself. And if this feels like a lot for you right now, if you feel like I don't even know where to start, I want you to know this is what I do with people. I can help you understand what you need. My special power is listening. I can listen to you and I can share with you what you are saying, so you can hear it in a way you maybe have never heard it before. So right now, if you're feeling the pull, I encourage you to go to my website, kellycovert.com, and sign up for a one-on-one call. I have opened up my schedule and I'm doing one-time deep dive sessions right now with anyone who feels like they really need that. So if this sounds like something that you could use, give this to yourself. kellycovert.com. I cannot wait to connect with you. This is a reminder, regardless of your choices, regardless of if you are aligned or not, regardless of how you feel today, you are and always will be worthy.